when we premiered, when we got into Cannes, that was a very, I don't think they really understood what Cannes means. We had our younger actress came, and the lead actually Zhao Li, she didn't come because she was like, oh, like she didn't know that it took a long time for the visa situation. So by the end, when she actually started getting excited about it, we were just like, hey, you needed to do all this bureaucratic stuff to for us to take you there. And so unfortunately she wasn't able to come, but the younger actors came, and seeing the film and the experience through her eyes was really wonderful, because she was obviously relating the stories back to the troupe, and I think that they really kind of all loved it, because in some way, they kind of knew that that world was more for Dan Dan than it was for Zhao Li and them. I told my producers after the con experience, I said, you know what, like, we need to play this film in China as soon as we can, because yes, we can go around in the festivals, and maybe in a year's time you'll have a theatrical in China, but let's really give them a party, like, let's really give them a way to enjoy this in the big screen, in a way to sort of celebrate it. And that's the only way you can do that is with a big festival. And in China, at that moment, the biggest festival that was coming was the Shanghai International Film Festival. So we, luckily enough, it was close enough to Chengdu, where they were living, that we were able to fly the entire troupe, to Shanghai, put them in hotels, so for them, that this was, some of them had never even been to Shanghai, so it was a really kind of a gift, and for them, and it was a gift for me too, to see them so happy. So when they actually did see the movie on the big screen, yeah, it was a really, like, I actually stayed away from the theater, because I get very tense when there's too much emotion going around, and I knew that it would be a very emotional screening. Once I got in, I could feel that emotion had, like, almost like a slow cooker. It's like it just boiled up to this moment, and the, like, that screening, I had another friend who was the head of the New Zealand International Film Festival, and he came out afterwards and just said, I've never been to a screening like this, because from the beginning to the end, it was like, like at one point he said, yeah, like, some people were taking pictures in the middle of the screening, and I had to, like, tap on their shoulder, and then they turn around, and I realized, oh, that's the person in the movie, so, like, I think half the theater was friends of the opera troupe and friends of the family. And so, and yeah, I don't know what to say, like, it was a really kind of a special experience, because also for our executive producer, who was from Chengdu, like, I remember in Cannes, she felt that she couldn't really celebrate the film as she would, because she didn't speak English, so she couldn't answer a lot of the questions in the Q&A. But I think that probably the smartest thing I did was when I got up into the Q&A, and I said, you know what, like, usually it's always me that's talking at the Q&As, so I'm going to step back, and I'm going to give the floor to my actors, my producers, and yeah, it was just kind of like 45 minutes of them really being able to express all this emotion that they had been keeping inside them for a long time, let's say. Yeah.